Hi, folks. This is Mountain Man coming to you from parts unknown. How you doing, John? You got up there quick. You got up there before I could even put a banner up. Ha ha! I see you on Nikki's. You were watching Nikki's last night. I think you put in the comments. But battling a little chest cold, but I'm here anyway. See how good it goes. Hi, Wanda. How you doing, honey? I just wanted to do a broadcast tonight. Went on Nikki's for a little bit, discussed this situation with Twitter, and I made a comment that it was going to be hi Bubba, hi B Dog, hi Mike 1176. That this WikiLeaks was going to be, or Twitter was going to be another WikiLeaks. Hi B Dog. Sin, how you doing? But a lot of people said you could feel something happening in the air. Hello, Mr. Kibler. How you doing? You could feel something in the air. And, you know, Trump had his one of his rallies, and that's the one of the songs he was playing, Phil Collins, along with Hold On, I'm Coming. So, yeah, there's something in the air for sure. And normal people are seeing it too, or feeling it at the very least. Now, a lot of these Twitter drops, I call them drops. They call them Twitter files. That's okay. We have WikiLeaks. We had the 17 drops, and now we got the Twitter files. I think it is being played out the same way to drip information out, have people waiting what's going to come out next. And that appears to be an effective way to titillate the public and to get them interested in paying attention and not dumping too much in their lap where they are suffering from information overload. How you doing, little lap dumpling? Hi, happy days. Ha ha. Let me see who else here. Hi, Aaron. How you doing? Hi, Lori. So everybody's showing up. I had a lot of people saying they didn't get notifications last time. It was kind of frustrating when people don't get notified. And you could tell by the viewership. So, oh my! I wish I had a way to put up pictures right now. What I'm reading. I mean, I'm gonna take a screenshot of that. I can't. I could show it, but I can't say it. But I will put it up on one of my other broadcasts. But anyway, I was listening to a Twitter feed going over these Twitter files that are being released, and one of the people that was commenting in Twitter feed was saying, "Why don't they just put everything in one article and put it out there and let us go through it?" And that's when it hit me. This is the same strategy as WikiLeaks, the same strategy as 17th letter. That's what's going on right now. This is an operation that's going to bring dark to light. And one of the girls that was in the conversation that was going over the release of these items was saying that they have to be careful because the Justice Department is looking at everything to do with Elon Musk right now. If they could give him a Trump treatment, they would do it. If they could find one reason to arrest him, they would do it. Or put his company under investigation, or God knows what they do. Hi, Roy. Nice to meet you. Well, I haven't bumped off. I don't know. I don't think you go that far, but I'm going to tell you, I'm going to remind you of something. Hi, Lucy. I'm going to remind everybody of something. When Trump had 3M make masks, he made them make masks. He made GM produce ventilators. Remember that? It's called the Defense Production Act. In other words, the president has the power to make a business, produce whatever he wants, whatever they're able to. And that goes for news agencies too, or media services. So Biden could technically cause problems for Elon Musk that way, but I'm sure he preferred to do it where the Justice Department tortures Elon the way they are torturing Trump. So, plus that there's such a thing as information overload. And if you give things out to people a little bit at a time and they can digest it, and then they can paint the picture in their mind. You just don't take a bucket and dump it on their head. You let them take time to put the picture together in their mind, much the way the 17 drops has done. And remember what Trump said, I love WikiLeaks, because that's what started a lot of stuff. The Clinton emails and a lot of other things that were coming out bit by bit, giving people time to talk about it, analyze it, check it out for themselves. Then something else would come out. What we learned tonight, we learned that that girl from India that was the one who made the decision to take Trump's Twitter account down, that she lied to Congress under oath. She said that Twitter doesn't ban people or doesn't shadow ban people. Hi, Awaken Trillium. How you doing? So that's one of many things. They're putting out just enough to get people to talk about it. And what is going to get the subconscious of 80% of the population, I'd say at least, whether they're consider themselves a liberal or a Republican or a Democrat or whatever, normal people are going to have the subconscious thought that if they're doing that to somebody else, they can do it to me. So if they see examples where people are getting doxxed, that was being let out today, that people are speaking their mind, are being put in a position to be harassed, or having their accounts taken down, things like that, that kind of persecution. 80% of the people, I would say, are going to realize, hey, this is no good. Because like my father said years ago, just remember, if they can do it to somebody else, just remember they can do it to you. So this stuff is getting out there, and you'll have your hardcore kooks that are goose-stepping TDS psychos that ain't much you can do with them. But the majority of the public know in their hearts what do unto others boils down to. Waking Trillium from Canada, I was going to ask, did they ever pass that thing on the shooting irons up there in Canada, or are they still trying to cram that through? So hopefully not. But he sure is working on it. But anyway, I got my thumbnail that the air marshals, have you all heard this? Biden was going to order air marshals to go down to the border and assist with handling the border. In other words, assist them in moving people around the country and assisting with the violation of our borders. But that the rank and file of the air marshals pretty much said that they're not going to do it. They're standing up to them, and there's a gentleman by the name of David Londo. He's president of the Air Marshals National Council. But he said that if they try to force the air marshals to redeploy down there to the border to help with Biden's, whatever his plans are, that they were going to have a mutiny on their hands. And this is a big crack that is showing up in the credibility of the Biden administration. So one thing I was talking about yesterday was election cycles, if you remember. I mentioned that we have elections for House of Representatives every 2 years. And they do one half of the body 2 years, and then the next 2 years they do the other half. So it's broken up. So every 4 years you get a whole new Congress. And every 6 years you have election cycles for senators. They're 6-year terms. So keeping that in mind, within a 6-year period, we should have a entirely either new Congress or Congress people that have been retained their seats reaffirmed by a vote. Now, if you follow what my theory is on this, see what you think. 2016. How did Trump get in? They never thought she would lose. I think that election was very well monitored by military intelligence. And I think they foiled some things that were in the hopper, in the plans for Hillary to break through the glass ceiling, and they were shocked when their plans didn't work out. That is the first one I feel that we can comfortably say we know for a fact the military was involved and watching. 2018. Then 2020, now 2022, okay? From 2018 to 2022, 2016 to 2022, every member of Congress has been through the election process. And I believe the tactics were known. And do you know how many times people get off of shoplifting because they have not left the store yet with the item? They'll have it in their back pocket. They'll have it down their pants. They'll have it in their bra or whatever. They get caught inside the store. They get off because they say, I didn't actually steal because I didn't leave the premises. I didn't go past the checkout. So in other words, when did the diamonds get taken? When does the diamonds get taken? When they take the oath, right? So I'm thinking January 3rd of this year, or this coming year, when the new Congress takes its oath, every person that's in Congress has been through a well-monitored process with evidence. I'm just saying. So that's one thing to think about once the diamonds are gone when that oath is taken. When somebody knowingly does something. And you've got some Congress people that, got where they're supposed to be because they earned it. They didn't do anything wrong. But you got a lot of them that didn't. I'm having a sip of my coffee. But anyway, so you're looking at a process from 18 to now where everybody, they've got pretty much a good view of how they got where they are and what the tactics were to get people where they are. Hi, Nikki. How you doing? Aaron said, everybody behave. Nikki's in here. Just teasing. Okay, let's see. So I want everybody to think about that, because a lot of people that come to the channel don't know a lot about 17. That is kind of old hat now. But we were told back then about how the military messed up Hillary's plans in 2016, and that elections would be heavily monitored from that point on. So now we've got everybody that's in Congress, either they did it or they didn't do it. And it's documented. And does everybody remember Louis Gohmert? Louis Gohmert, when he said something one time that made a lot of people's antennas go up, and then it just kind of depressed it and cover it. Louis Gohmert said that he had information that he verified that there was a firefight in Frankfurt, Germany, concerning a computer server that had to do with what was going on in November. Gavin Nunez put out a truth. He's talking about that Jack Dorsey lied about shadow banning. Will the DOJ prosecute? And the poll says yes, probably not. And the third choice is when hell freezes over. So we got Jack Dorsey been thrown under the bus by his own doing. And the young lady from India that took down Donald Trump, she lied to Congress. And here's another article. Elon Musk's Twitter file, part 2 drops. Exposes secret blacklists against top figures. This is huge news. This was put out by Sebastian Gorka. And here you have a screenshot of Jack Posobiec sitting with AJ in Congress. And he says, I attended Jack Dorsey's 2018 hearing in Congress when he testified that Twitter's shadow banning was not politically biased. And then he's sitting next to AJ, who's also sitting in the audience during the congressional hearings. So let me see. Trump put out some interesting truths. Clandestine says they had a secret censorship team known as the Site Integrity Policy Escalation Support, where executives censored conservatives for reasons off the books, not listed in public policy. We need to see all the blacklists. So Barry Weiss, who has been putting out these things on Twitter leaks, Twitter drops, Twitter leaks, Twitter files, whatever they want to call it. Same method, starting with WikiLeaks. They were known as SIPPs, according to Barry Weiss. The Site Integrity Policy Escalation Support. The secret group included the head of legal policy and trust, Vijaya Gadde, that's the lady that took down Trump, the global head of trust and safety, Yoel Roth, and subsequent CEOs Jack Dorsey and Parag Agrawal. We all know Parag. Charlie Kirk says he was placed on Twitter's blacklist. Now, I put out, I don't know how many of y'all got to see it, I put out a community post, and Donald Trump's last truth concerns the community post I put out about Brittany Griner. And it was within an hour after they announced the trade for the arms dealer for Brittany Griner. And I got a short clip showing them doing a trade-off at the airport. So Trump says, what kind of a deal is it to swap Brittany Griner, a basketball player who openly hates our country, for the man known as the Merchant of Death, who is one of the biggest arms dealers anywhere in the world and is responsible for tens of thousands of deaths and horrific injuries? Why wasn't former Marine Paul Whelan included in this totally one-sided transaction? Good question, Mr. Trump. He would have been let out for the asking. What a, quote, stupid and unpatriotic embarrassment for the USA. I'm going to turn my volume down a little bit in case I'm blowing everybody's speakers out with my big mouth. Oh, there. That's good right there. Okay. Anyway, I hope my signal's coming in good, because sometimes when I look at a different device, it'll mess things up. But anyway, I put in there that tensions were rising at the Gulag shoot, the female Gulag, because Griner kept forgetting to be a sweetie and wipe the seedy. If you remember that little poem, if you sprinkle when you tinkle, be a sweetie and wipe the seedy. Or leaving the toilet seat up and somebody doesn't know about it when it's dark out, or dark lights are out in the bathroom. That's something that'll get you in trouble too. At least that's what I heard. But anyway, so it's what I'm talking about, information overload. Right now, what they're letting out after they've let a number of days go by, where the media has been saying, oh, the Twitter drops were a big flop. They really didn't tell anybody anything new. Oh, then, right after they have that campaign, we catch a mole in Twitter who is knee-deep in the Russia collusion scam to unseat a president and to bug a president in there messing with the files, and he was fired and marched out of the building. So that gets soaked into the public's head. They talk about it and they think about it. Then this stuff starts coming out. Blacklist is what's trending now. Let's see, I'm trying to see what some of these people are putting out. People are going nuts on True Social. Let's see. This is where the biggest, most politically sensitive decisions got made. Think high follower count, controversial. Another Twitter employee told us. For these, there would be no ticket or anything. You're just out of here. They were systematically taking out the people with the highest followers with the views they disagreed with. And my friend that, and I got to break the word up because it's been kicked off of here a couple of times, but channel is Truth and Art, and then the last part of his TV. He shows something from Barry Weiss that put up, compare this to what happened when Rachel herself, now Barry Weiss is talking about somebody who was posting on Twitter that got doxxed. She's saying, compare this to when Rachel herself was doxxed on November 21st, 2022. A photo of her home with her address was posted in a tweet. And it's tied to this next one. The committee justified her suspension internally by claiming her posts encouraged online harassment of hospitals and medical providers by insinuating that gender-affirming health care is equivalent to child abuse or grooming. So her opinion that doing these surgeries to children, be careful in the chats, please, with your words. You can chat away. Just don't put any bombs in there. Because she said she felt that was child abuse, as do I. I said it was a humanitarian crisis that we're going to have to face. But because she held that opinion, not only was her account taken down, but her address was put up with a photograph of her home that had over 10,000 likes from a bunch of crazy lunatics that could very well show up at her house and do God knows what. So that is going to motivate people, activate people, where the next time something is going to come out, after this gets tossed around the public arena and discussed and goes through the news cycle where people can digest it, more will come out, just like WikiLeaks, just like number 17. The problem with 17, though, was it got overanalyzed and had way too much read into it, where it was a counteroffensive by black hats to get people to talk about things that discredited the Q situation. And that's why it was stopped. And that's why the ones we're seeing now are saying things like focus. And they're brief and very much to the point. I'm just going through Truth Social here, see what's going on. But you can see that the hierarchy, the chieftains or whatever they were at Twitter, that's nowhere there now, were definitely counterculture, definitely leaning more towards behaviors and beliefs that we would associate with what Putin refers to as satanic. I don't know what else. I don't know what else you call it when you say what God says is wrong and what you say is right in such a way that it harms families and children. I don't know what other term to use besides SATAN. Okay? Let me see what the press dropped. Now, 5 years ago, he put up this post. 5 years ago, Trump did what Clinton, Bush, and Obama couldn't. The 5-year anniversary of the historic announcement of putting the embassy in Jerusalem, the American embassy. Promises made, promises kept. And there was an article he posted on the Gateway Pundit. It's time to give President Trump credit for his courage and persistence in bringing to light the election STEAL. So, yes, it is time for even people that don't care about politics. I mean, the real haters, you know, if they wake up fine, if they don't, oh well. But the average person, the subconscious thought is going to be, if that kind of stuff was going on and my neighbor's vote didn't mean anything, there can come a time when my vote won't mean anything. That is what the majority of the populace is going to come to know innately. The term innately. They will naturally know that if it's crooked one way, it can be crooked the other way. So, let me see what's going on in chats. So anyway, we've got Hi Freedom, hello. I saw you you put up a comment before that said how much did Baker delete? But I want to remind everybody that nothing is ever really deleted off the internet. We've been told that many times, and it will be very telling what he attempted to delete. Hi, Patriot Starfighter. What the heck? Here we got somebody. Somebody causing problem. I think Nikki already got him. You get that troublemaker in the chats, honey? You probably did. Hi, Shireen. Just going through the chats, folks. So anyway, it's going to be very telling. Finding Dory, how are you doing, honey? When they dig up what Baker deleted, that's going to be very telling. And that is knowingly covering up things. That was told to us a number of times in capital letters. Knowingly. So we've got every member of Congress has been through a highly examined cycle, election cycle. Come January 3rd, every single member of Congress either got in there fair and square or didn't. And when they take the oath, that seals the deal. The only question is whether they knowingly did something. And that's something for Space Force, military intelligence to be gathering. And that brings me back to Louis Gohmert, when he mentioned back, 4 years ago, about the raid in Frankfurt, Germany for a server. That a CIA black site was raided in Frankfurt, Germany by the U.S. military. We might be hearing about that soon. So did you hear who Baldylocks got replaced with? The nuclear head of nuclear security or whatever, baldy locks, stealing luggage, got replaced with the young person with long hair that sat down, had an interview with Biden, and Biden said, God bless you. So they replaced one for another. And I wasn't going to go live tonight because I've been having a little bit of a cold, but I did make a few notes this morning. The other thing that WikiLeaks, the other thing Twitter leaks is going to be doing, then right now they're focusing on the persecution of conservatives and people who of certain religious faiths. I think we're going to be seeing individual instances where people were harmed, put in fear of harm, actual names and dates and accounts with the amount of followers. And as I said before, it's not just the speaker that gets hurt. It's the people that are trying to listen, because free speech includes having the right to hear what somebody else is wanting to say to you, if you want to hear it. So if somebody had 500,000 followers and gets taken down, it's not just that one person that lost that account. What if we find out that time when Tucker Carlson's house was attacked, when his wife and kids were in the house? What if we find out that's how he got doxxed, or something similar? These attacks that have been happening on Tim Pool's house, 16 times. There have been people showing up with guns drawn. In the last one, a shot was actually fired into his home. What if we find out? Like that story I did on Telegram, the Telegram operator. Administrators of certain sites, I'm not sure if Meta or Facebook's one of them, but I know Telegram's one of them and Twitter's one of them. They have the ability to track your location, whether you want them to or not. They can go through, they can break through a lot of security features people put in their phones to keep themselves private. They have the ability, as administrators on Telegram and Twitter, maybe other sites, to defeat that protection you put up and find your location. What if this found out that has been utilized at Twitter to expose people and put them in danger by exposing where they, like this Telegram operator did in Ukraine, that I did a story on. He was doxxed by a Telegram operator, and what was that newspaper that was involved? Liberal, shoot, I can't think of it. But anyway, I did a couple videos on there. They're backed up on my Rumble channel. But the Daily Beast was accusing him of being misogynist, everything you can think of. And next thing you know, he got picked up by the secret police. And the Russian police, military police, came and arrested this Telegram operator who gave up his location. So that's where somebody could have lost their life, an American citizen. Now, let's see if that comes out in the wash about these administrators divulging private information with malicious intent. We've already got numerous instances of top-level executives lying to Congress. Okay? Oh, here's another note I made. This was yesterday. Y'all heard that Mr. Vindman's uh, lawsuit against Trump got thrown out, and he doesn't have the wherewithal to take it anywhere. It's history. It's in the trash pail. As a matter of fact, he's the one that's going to be sweating now. He's going to be just like Avenatti when this is all over with. But Avenatti wasn't a member of the armed forces actively trying to harm the commander in chief, which is what we have in the case of Mr. Vindman. And the Senate has put out with Josh Hawley and a couple other senators that there's going to be an investigation into claims of child trafficking, organized child trafficking. That's going to be happening in the Senate. And I already went over what I felt, what we needed to do to get the House going. I mean, Jim Jordan is going to be, as I said in the past, he's going to be the leg breaker. Like Trump said, he's got them ears like a fighter, you know. You look at them ears, and he's going to have his sleeves rolled up, and he is ready. I mean, he has been chomping at the bit for years. And now you can bet that McCarthy gets in there, he's not going to have any other choice but then to cut Jim Jordan loose. And that is going to be a show. And this child, whoops, I meant to say human trafficking. You all knew what I meant by that. But the young one trafficking is going to be in the national spotlight. So this coordinated global effort, as I said in the past, is getting exposed. It's going to be dripped out, and each revelation is going to be bigger than the next. Each embarrassment is going to be bigger than the next, and you can bet that the Biden administration is trying to think of any way they can stop this. Elon Musk has already set their operation in Ukraine back quite a bit by raising his prices on Starlink. The entire Ukrainian military relies on Starlink, as does the rest of the country for any kind of internet access. The Eggman. Hey, I'm going to put your comment up, Eggman. No, I better not. I tease my gals here on the site sometimes. I put up a picture of a book. It was bigger than the guy opening the book up to read it. Never, yeah. Said, why she's mad now? Hi, Donna. How you doing? Hey, I'm going to put Nikki's up. Hit the thumbs up, like, share, subscribe. Thank you. Isn't Nikki a good-looking thing? Look at her. That's why I put you up, Nikki. Because if people see that when they're scrolling along and say, oh, I got to see what's going on there. There's a chick instead of some creepy old mountain man. How you doing, Philo? Ha, that's right, Eggman. We love the ladies. We love the ladies. But you're right. You're just kidding. I'm going to put it up anyway for a few minutes in case somebody missed it. I asked Alexa what a woman wants. She had to shut up for 7 days. I think it's a 10-day limit. That's when it cuts off. Using our military, Lori says, I'm sure, listen, the military is not pristine, okay? It's not pristine. We said we have heard, I'll say it that way, that there may be up to 40% of the military that is either going to have to either have a come to Jesus meeting about what it means to be an honorable officer, a honorable veteran someday, or get the heck out. And that's why I was saying social medias are going to be gone over. A lot of people who treated Trump very poorly while he was in office. That is a direct violation of the code of conduct. So anyway, let's see what else I tripped across this morning when I was having a hot cup of coffee and trying to get my feet on the ground. What's happening in this big old world? Have y'all heard of anything called the Holman Rule? The Holman Rule. Well, you're going to hear about it if the media does any proper reporting, which they may start. They may be forced to. I don't know. All these shakeups at CNN, and Trump went on a truth storm yesterday where he put up at least half a dozen different articles talking about every major media outlet having big problems with their stock prices, their cash flow, layoffs, CNN, NBC, on and on and on, article after article. So, something might be happening there because we were told they would collapse under the weight of their own illegality. So this Holman Rule is going to be coming up concerning this guy that's going to be special counsel for Trump against Trump, Jack Smith. That is basically where Congress can just not give him any money to do his investigation. Okay, you use bubble gum, duct tape, call a cab if you need to go somewhere, buy your own note paper and pens. Go investigate whatever you want, you jerk. You're just not getting any money and we're not paying your staff. So that would be funny. That would be nice. I'd like to see that. And that's going to push him back in the spotlight, this Jack Smith character. And we're going to find out his involvement. One, the IRS scandal, where they singled out conservatives and sicked the IRS on them. That's one of the things they accused Nixon of. It wasn't formal part of his proceedings. But that's one of the things they tried to pin on Nixon. And we're going to see about that. We're going to see about Fast and Furious. We're going to see about a lot of things, because these characters like Jack Smith and Weissman, I did a story on him before. Andrew Weissman, he was a henchman for Bob Mueller during the Russiagate bullcrap. They're having to come out themselves because all their underlings have either been fired or charged with crimes or are under investigation by the Inspector General and Durham. So they have nobody to carry the water but themselves. They're being forced into the spotlight, just like Fauci, Dr. Ouchie, who's sweating bullets right now, as we all know. So let's see. Oh, Liz Crokin. I know a lot of you may have heard of Liz Crokin. Now, she used to work for CNN way back in the day, during the 90s, and she quit because it was rotten. But she has done a lot of work on the trafficking business and the rituals and people that are involved in that type of stuff, people that are involved in the Church of Satan. So I found it very interesting that she went to Mar-a-Lago and spoke to a large crowd. Her and Laura Logan. So we're going to be hearing more Liz Crokin. And I remember her telling a story when she worked for CNN after Reagan's first victory. They got a new head down there to run CNN. And she said he kept repeating, blue, blue, I'm thinking blue. And she thought, what in the world is he talking about? That was when they switched the colors. I know it sounds petty, but it's not. Jimmy Carter used to have red bumper stickers with white letters. Carter, 1980. Reagan had the blue with white letters. And when the electoral maps were put up, Reagan states were blue. They called it Reagan blue. And David Brinkley, when he was on the panel on election night, and they were looking at the map, the electoral map, and all the states were blue when Reagan beat Carter. And David Brinkley very famously said, I see a sea of blue, a sea of blue. Well, the first thing that CNN tried to do, and succeeded, was to switch it the other way, because they had study groups that said red was affiliated with communism, red was harsh on the eyes, blue was easier on the eyes. And the next election, you had NBC and ABC and CBS. Some of them were using the Reagan blue still. But starting with CNN, they started putting Republicans as red. And it's been that way ever since. And I know it sounds small, but that shows you the length of what they go through psychological studies to see how they can get the upper hand. It's been a big psyop for many years in this country. Operation Mocking, you know what the next word is, bird. So I thought it was interesting that Liz Croker was down there, and I'm sure that you'll hear that subject again. Now, the Brunson case we know is on the 6th. I know a lot of you have heard, but for people that haven't heard, there's another case that's got the lefties going crazy called Moore v. Harper. Moore v. Harper. Now, in 1787, the founders knew that elections could be corrupted. And the philosophy was the state legislatures were the closest to the people. The closest to the people. That's why they made it where election laws in a particular state are the responsibility of the state legislatures. If things were not going right, if people did not like how things were going, you can get rid of a state legislator a heck of a lot quicker than you can trying to go to Washington to get somebody out, which we found out. If we don't know by now, we'll never know it. So this Moore v. Harper case is where the Supreme Court has to make a very simple decision. Are they going to back the words of the Constitution that says the state legislatures have the sole right to decide election laws? Or Katie Hobbs, or some governor with a goofy mandate, or Mark Zuckerberg with his $500 million worth of drop boxes? Which one? Which one is what's going to be respected? And that decision could come down tomorrow. That could come down tomorrow. I'm not saying it is. But I'm still of a mind that people got to leave the store with the diamonds. They got to raise that right hand January 3rd and complete their little operation. And it's the only question is going to be whether what they did was right or wrong. And if it's wrong, did they do it knowingly? Actus reus, menis res. Did I see the Biden's gold crystal? I mentioned that last night. I mentioned that. It is not Moloch. It's Baphomet. Baphomet is a goat head. Yeah, I saw it. I got a picture of my phone. Durham. Bubba's mentioned Durham. Durham is going to be the one that's going to pop up. He's going to pop. I mean, there's so many things in place right now. The Supreme Court decisions, the investigations with control of the House, the Twitter drops, the SCOTUS decisions, and then you got Durham. And not only do you have Durham, you have the Inspector General's office out of Utah. Not a lot of people are talking about that. They've got over 700 investigators. And they're at Durham's disposal. And Durham also has his son working on cases. And there's over 200,000 sealed indictments. So I think the table is being set. You know, I don't know how much drama we're going to have to go through, but I do know we're going to have to go through this switch over Congress. I believe we are going to have to go with that. Now, there might be something happen on Christmas that is going to be a warning shot and going to rattle people and wake people up to go, oh, no, I'm not saying it's going to be a total disruption of government, but hey, it could be. Do it when they least expect it, right? Maybe they don't have to take the oath January 3rd. Maybe they had to sign the certification is good enough. Maybe they had to say, thank you. I thank my supporters for the victory tonight. An acceptance speech. Maybe that's good enough. I don't know. But like Trump said, you never let them know your moves ahead of time. You never let them know your moves ahead of time. Yeah, RT News is banned. I see what you're saying, Freedom Hello. Well, Trump said he sent her a white flag. Angela. Whoops. Sometimes I'm just looking through here. We got 130 spaceships over us. Hi, Roy. A country can't continue to function with so much injustice. First time you came on, Roy, I'll put you on the screen there, buddy. Because that is where they said Trump was saying to trash the Constitution. He was saying with what has been done, hey, it's your constitutional right to walk down the sidewalk, right? A cop can't come grab you and put your hands behind your back and take you away for nothing, right? Because it's your constitutional right. to be free. But if you've done something wrong, the Constitution doesn't apply. You trashed it for yourself. Now the cop can get you, put your hands behind your back, and take you away. Okay. The Constitution doesn't apply when it's been violated. The violators don't get the protections. That is the whole philosophy behind unlawful combatants. They are treated differently because they trash the Constitution for themselves. That's basically what Trump was saying. These people can't hide behind the Constitution. Well, I see what you're saying, Don. That plays into what I was saying about judges and prosecutors being looked at very strongly. The Sussman case, there were people on that jury that had no business being on that jury, judges that allow it, prosecutors that push for it, attorneys that let things like that happen and knowingly sabotage a case. I think that's what these Danchenko and Sussman are two peanuts. They're the low-hanging fruit, but they had to use every dirty trick to get them off the hook. What did they do? They exposed themselves, and at the very least, they committed ethical violations, and it's all part of the process to flush out corrupt judges, corrupt prosecutors, and attorneys that have no business being in a position of public trust. So that's what I think about that. Ha ha. He didn't lose those cases. Those cases were rigged, and the riggers are going to get it because we can't do what we're going to do and leave crooked judges and crooked prosecutors. And you can't get them out because you think they're bad. You have to prove what they've done. Like I've said before, when you go before a military commission, it's not so you can pull out some technicality and say, ha ha, you didn't remember my rights, I get to go home, or your search warrant was no good, and I get away with the crime. No, you go in front of a military commission to try to diminish your punishment. So anyway, I hope that makes sense to you all. Let me see what else I had in my notes here. Boy, it's a small world. That's what Elon Musk said. It's a small world. You know what he said that in response to? Somebody made a comment that Dr. Fauci's daughter worked for Twitter. And she may have been one of the people that was on this little group that decides whose accounts get taken down. The Sippies, or whatever their name was. And Elon Musk said, small world. So that's a hint right there. What's going to be coming out is that medical information, people who are trying to get the word out were persecuted, had their accounts taken down by Dr. Fauci's daughter. So, small world. So anyway, that's something everybody's going to be interested in. Everybody. Because if I thought, oh, Dr. Fauci's wonderful, and yes, I will go do what he says, and I will get boosted, and I will do well. You start finding out this stuff, even the most adamant pro Fauci person, when it comes down to their own personal well-being, going, wait a minute, what did he talk me into doing? Am I going to be all right? Their own personal safety and well-being, that's going to cut a lot of lights on too. I don't care how many times they put Fauci on Vanity Fair or television shows or anything. People start getting nervous about their own personal well-being. Like I said, they don't care unless their own ox is getting gored. Now, I did put something, it's getting a bit late. I've gone over now. I put something in there about China. Changes in China. We know that one Mr. Hu, H-U, got hustled out of the National Party convention or whatever it was, right in front of everybody. And a former premier who was a rival to Xi Jinping, he died. And I got some pictures and stuff, video of that. But also, there's video of these white suits, people with these hazmat suits going around welding people's doors shut and putting people in quarantine facilities. There's video of regular policemen getting about a dozen of them and arresting them in their white suits, putting handcuffs on them and marching them off. Chinese police. So something is changing in China. We got to keep an eye on that. And I'll get into that a little bit more, but the clock's ticking. But we did have a former leader who was a bit of a rival to Xi Jinping pass away in about a week after another rival of Xi Jinping was removed from a meeting, Communist Party meeting, in a very public way. He was escorted out. Now you have cracks in this zero COVID policy. So things are changing. We got to keep an eye on it. So anyway, folks, I think there were only so many tactics they could use. That's the same in just about anything. It's game theory. Game theory. Or as was put in one of the 17 drops, combat tactics, Mr. Ryan. There's only so many. And with these things that happened in November, there's only so many tactics they can use. Printers breaking down, glitches, drop boxes. Only so many. There's a finite number. And once you know their tactics, you can be very predictive. And you can also gather evidence. So I think it's very interesting that from 2016 till now, every federal position in Congress has been through a selection process, that their tactics are known and have been highly monitored. There isn't anybody going to be saying, well, I didn't know. I didn't know there was controversy. I didn't know I'm just ran for office. Every single backside and every single chair in the House of Congress, in the House of Representatives, and the Senate has been through a monitored selection. So let's see what happens. Let me see. And whether or not they did it knowingly. So, Fauci is an evil leprechaun. Yes, he is. Jax, how you doing, buddy? America deserved a second opinion. Yeah, that's right. I wonder if I get in trouble for putting that up, Lori. You think I would? I'll get in trouble for that? Who said? He probably didn't, Donna. Saline. He might have got some saline. Someone in one of my research groups said some footage is old, out of context. Oh, well. Okay. We'll see. I think Xi Jinping is down with Trump. And are you talking about the footage of the white suits getting arrested in the hazmat suits? Because the one about Hugh getting hustled out of the meeting there was very real. Okay, Aaron, you have a good night, buddy. Oh gosh, I forgot to say it again. This channel is viewer created, viewer supported, and created supported only. I got a buy me coffee link in the description if y'all want to help support channel. I appreciate it. A lot of time and effort goes into putting some of this stuff together. I've got 160 plus videos that are on RUMBLE, and that is all one word, Mountain Man Speaks. And I've also got, I don't know how many on this situation, about a dozen. And I would say that there's not too many of them that are not pertinent today, like the one I did about that Telegram operator who was arrested by the Russians for disclosing somebody's location and put them in a position where they could have lost their life. It is coming, that very tactic is coming into play today with what we're finding out about Twitter, and I predict that somebody's going to be in big trouble. If somebody got hurt because their location was given out by somebody working for Twitter, there's going to be hell to pay. Well, that's true. Nothing is as it seems, but things have meaning. We just can't get distracted as to what the meaning is. Texas Tinks, how you doing? Oh, the vehicle's blown up, a warning. You know what? I saw where Reds put a thing up about it being white phosphorus. I had done a video about the Crimea bridge blowing up. I had footage where you could see that there was a substance that was clinging to the concrete and burning through the concrete on the bridge. And it made the span fall on the Crimea bridge. That happened right after the attack on Nord Stream. And I said that was probably thermite. And they found traces of thermite on the WTC, World Trade Center, right? Now they had x-ray of the interior of the truck that caused the blow up on the Crimea Bridge. And that is the supposition by many people who have looked at that x-ray of what that truck was hauling was thermite. Now, those cars for Biden's Secret Service, if you take a look at the center of the burn or the explosion or what have you, is a white SUV that the whole engine compartment is gone, and the surrounding vehicles, you can tell, sustain their damage from whatever happened in that center white SUV. Now, the fact that tires didn't blow or anything like now, could the Russians have put a device in the white car, the white SUV with thermite when it blows out and clings to something and burns up. I would think that would be a hell of a message to send using the same stuff they use on the Crimea Bridge on Secret Service's car. So that's a possibility. But the other thing too is they said that the engine block was gone in the white vehicle. If it's an aluminum engine with a plastic manifold like they've been doing since the 1990s, I can't get into all that. But if you ever threw a beer can in a bonfire, it's aluminum. It disappears. It just disintegrates. So aluminum block engine. And also, if that was an electric vehicle, it wouldn't have an engine in the engine compartment. A lot of them have their engines in the hubs of the wheels. 4 different engines. And you sit on the battery, and you use the engine compartment as luggage space. So I don't even know what kind of vehicle it was. So since you mentioned that, I thought I would tell you my thoughts on it. Okay, so if you go to Kroger, I just want to let you know that there was a controversy where they fired some of their employees, Kroger supermarkets, because the employees refused to wear alphabet as an LBG and then the other letters, TQ. They refused to wear aprons, celebrating that lifestyle or condition or whatever they call it. So Kroger fired these people. So you might want to think about that next time you go shopping, that maybe Kroger's might not want to be on your list, or at the very least, call them and let them know that you disagree with the kind of treatment of employees. Anyway, folks, it's been great. And I've been going now 17 minutes, 18 minutes. I appreciate your time. Thank you for tuning in. And Nikki, I thank you for keeping an eye on stuff for me. And you all have a great evening. I don't know when I'll broadcast again, but till I do, you all have a great time and enjoy yourself. Don't freak out. Don't feel like nothing's happening, because if somebody's saying right now that nothing's happening, they're not paying attention. So y'all have a great night, folks. This is Mountain Man, over and out.